hot mamas! Happy National Menopause Month and welcome to the first ever live stream of Crazy Sexy Menopause. I'm so glad you're here and I appreciate you taking the time to join me today. This is the channel where we are committed to helping menopausal women live more vibrantly in every aspect of their lives. If you don't know me, my name is Bette Vargas, and this is my channel, and I am your resident menopause maven. Today, we are talking about the millennial woman's dilemma, managing career, relationship, and parenthood at the onset of menopause. It's a big topic, to be sure, and to help me to cover it in every aspect of it, I knew I needed a millennial woman who checked off all the boxes. So of course I went sky high and chose one of the best and brightest. Board Chair Malia Cohen is here to chat with me today. And let me just tell you a little about her. A San Francisco native, Board Chair Cohen is a strong advocate for social justice and inclusion. She is a former president of the San Francisco Board of Supervisors and is currently chair of the California State Board of Equalization, the first African American woman to serve in this role, and she is now running as the Democratic candidate to be the first African American female controller for the state of California. Woo! And if that's not enough, she's married and the mother of a 2-year-old daughter. Malia, welcome to the show and thank you so much for joining me today.
Oh, I'm so happy to be here. Good morning to you, Bette. Good morning, ladies tuning in. I'm fired up. Let's do it.
Yes. So Malia, you absolutely check all the boxes, and we're talking about today. You have a high-powered career representing some 10 million women. 10 million people.
At least half of them we know are women.
That's right. Across 23 California counties. You're running for a political campaign and you have a family. On top of all of that, you are a millennial woman, which means you are now at the age or you're either perimenopause or you will be soon. What do you do to take care of yourself in terms of navigating this natural phase of a woman's health journey and doing it while you have such an amazingly full life?
I believe leading by example. And so my life is just as busy as any other working mom, any other woman that is professionally driven and has a career that she is working and furthering. And so that's why I'm really delighted to be here to talk about how the body is changing, how my body is changing, sharing some of my personal stories. And most importantly, I want to get some information from you, the expert, the menopause maven herself. I love that. So that, so I'm learning, but also that, other women are able to learn from this. Because I'll be honest with you, up until when you called me, I didn't even think of myself as perimenopausal. So I do hope that we'll be able to unpack exactly what that means. But how I stay healthy, I have started recently a mindfulness journey. So I get up and I meditate, and I'm really only at 10 minutes, and I'm going to be building that muscle, right? At 10 minutes, to be able to just be still and to be center myself. I move my body every single day. Now I'm a mother of a 2-year-old, so I'm constantly moving already. But now, before Madison got here, I worked out 5 days a week. I really embrace the concept of mind, body, and spirit. And and realize that when my spirit is off, my body is not in sync. And when my mind is
Yes.
stressed and I have anxiety, oftentimes my body will manifest tight shoulders, lower back pain. And so being able to move, being able to meditate and connect to the source, and then also eating healthy food is all part of my lifestyle. And I preach this, I encourage it, and I'm not perfect. I am not perfect. There's days when I wake up and I'm too tired to do anything, and there's days when I'm on the go and just kind of grabbing processed food and food that's ready to go. I love a good Dorito. I'm not gonna lie. You know that. You know my struggle, and I love a good cupcake. So I'm not a perfect being, but I do. When I'm strongest, when I have my willpower is the strongest in the beginning part to the mid part of the day, I am making good, healthy choices. And when I'm weakest, I think about you. What would Betty do? She probably wouldn't eat this donut. So sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't work. But I appreciate the different techniques that you've given me. So
Yes.
that is just a little bit of insight on how I'm doing it and what I'm doing. And you know what? I give myself grace. I'm a work in progress. Some days I really do hit it out the blocks, out of the
Yes,
park.
yes, yes.
And then
As you sit
sometimes
wait,
I fall short.
as you sit outside the Starbucks.
Yes. Now, but to be
But you
fair,
know what?
this is an herbal tea, sister.
There you go. There you
This is
go.
herbal mint tea. I asked for hot water and lemon, and they couldn't give that to me, so I got a mint tea.
And you have all my props because you are on the road. You have this
Yeah.
this intense schedule. You are and I so appreciate you for just squeezing me in, squeezing us in to talk about this. So I understand your struggle, and I see how you're working it out, and you're doing a
Yeah.
fantastic job. You really and
Thank you.
truly
Thank
are.
you.
You really and truly are.
I
So,
love it.
yes, I love it too, and I'm so grateful that because you are the perfect example of a busy woman.
Hmm.
I can't think of anybody who is busier than you. I'm sure there are other women who have just an enormous amount of time, or short period of time in which to accomplish everything that's needed, but you literally are, every moment of your day is accounted for, and
Scheduled. You say accountable. That's a
ex-
polite way. It's
there you go.
scheduled.
There you go.
Yes.
There you go.
Yes.
And in between that, you've got your husband and your
The
daughter.
baby, and got to go to
Yeah.
the grocery store and got to do the laundry. I mean, it's still a lot, when we talk about just kind of gender roles for a moment as a woman, and it's still very, that invisible work still does fall on my shoulders and on my plate.
Yeah.
And I'm getting better at asking for help.
There
I'm
you
getting
go.
better. I'm getting better in realizing that my husband has a different way to fold the towels, and his way is okay,
That's
just
right.
as good as mine, even if the points don't line up and it's not smooth, but it's okay
That's
because
right. It's
I don't have
done.
to own everything.
What do they say? Done is better than perfect.
That is exactly right, and I'm learning to embrace that.
Yes, yes, yes.
Done is better than perfect.
That's
Yes.
right. Well, our mission here at Crazy Sexy Menopause is to help peri and postmenopausal women to live more vibrantly through the proper application of what I call the three M's: mindset, meals, and movement. And I
Oh,
want to touch on all three of them, but you and I go back a long way with movement, which is
that's true.
exercise. So I want to start from there. What has it been like for you these days to try and fit physical exercise into your already packed schedule?
You know what? It is a challenge. And this year, this is a campaign year for me. So it's an anomaly. So on a regular yearly basis, I'm committed. I'm in the gym. I'm
Right.
training. And I go through cycles where I train on my own, and then I bring on a trainer and train me. Bottom line, you and I met in a period where I was able to learn those foundational principles: the importance of good form, the importance of breathing, the importance of really setting up a schedule and sticking to it. So my morning routine, the day starts at about 5 o'clock. It starts with a prayer and meditation. It starts with stretching, and then I am going into the going to work out. Now, because of the pandemic, I was pregnant during the pandemic. We were locked down, gyms were closed, and so I recognized that my husband and I were fortunate. We have a spin bike, and it was just a very simple spin bike. We have upgraded a little bit. Now we have a Peloton, but for the most of my workout life, it's been just any piece of equipment. We've got a mat, we've got a bolster, we've got a stability ball, and we've got some free weights. So it's by no means a sexy setup. It's basic. We've got resistance bands, but there are enough exercises out there, and now things are on demand that you can get information very easily on YouTube, following people on Instagram, connecting with trainers like yourself to put together personal fitness plans. And so really just being committed and doing it, and just saying, you know what, even if it's just a 10-minute core exercise, I know I feel it the next day. But bringing that stability really does help engage and center everything else. When I don't work out, it's like the momentum doesn't carry forward. I spill my coffee, my tea on my pants, soap on. This is real life. I'm in and out in airports all up and down the state of
Oh,
California,
no.
and so my success is predicated. My energy to sustain this is all predicated on how you start the day, and that really is starting
Yes.
with, like you said, those 3 M's. I want to drive that home because that is a game changer. When a woman is able to embrace that, she's set for life.
There you
She's set.
go. That's right. That's right. I fully appreciate that, and I'm so glad that you co-signed it and that you've
Oh yeah,
internalized it. So when you and I began working together back in the day, you were
yeah.
pre-menopause. And for
Hmm.
anyone not familiar with this terminology, pre-menopause is when your cycle is regular and menopause isn't even in your vocabulary. Perimenopause is when one of the first signs of the menopause transition is when your periods are become less and less frequent, and then of course you feel as you go on there the hot sweats and the night sweats and the hot flashes and on and on and on. But back then, with that in mind, do you find your relationship with exercising now to be any different, either mentally or physically, than it was back
Yeah.
then? And if so, why?
When I don't work out, I actually have a heavier flow, and when I am
Mm.
working out, it's lighter, it's easier. I don't have cramps, and
Hmm.
also I believe I have less mood swings. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We can talk to my husband about that one, or some of my coworkers, but I believe that it really does. It stabilizes me.
Hmm.
And so exercise helps move the body. Drinking water is also, I definitely incorporate that in my life, and
Yes.
and I and I certainly
Yes.
attribute it to, like, you and another black woman in my life, my doula. That water, flushing out those toxins. Betty, you talk about waking up in the morning and having at least 8 ounces the first thing you do. So I have that in the bathroom, and I'm drinking that to flush it everything out. And in doing so, it does help move the system, waking it up from a
Yes.
dormant state and moving it. And the other thing that I do practice in my life is intermittent fasting. So it
I.
also helps move the things
Hmm.
that have just gotten slow. And movement moves my bowels, moves the blood, moves the energy. So there is some truth. There is real life and practical value. And this is the thing that always shocks me, is that you see it and you feel it instantly.
Yes.
There's
Yes.
no delayed gratification on this one. You feel it
That's
instantly.
right. That's
Instantly.
exactly right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, you mentioned that you were pregnant during the pandemic, and
Yes.
I can't even imagine being pregnant during the pandemic. But how was that for you, first of all?
It was very isolating, and it was scary, to tell you the truth, because you had this. This is in the beginning. Now,
Mm-hmm.
Madison was delivered in 2020, so you remember the lockdown was all happening in my first trimester. So I was very sick, and
Oh.
we had just moved, and Warren had convinced himself that he was an essential worker, so he was still going to the office,
Oh
and so
no.
I was on my own, and I was my mother was very helpful. She would cook and she would bring food, but I did a lot of
Mm-hmm.
resting, and so it was a lot of soul searching. And then we came out. Then I was still on the second trimester, third trimester was still in the middle of lockdown. So I changed my birth plan. I birthed at the birthing center, and so, as opposed to going to a hospital. I hired a doula to help coach me through this. My online birthing classes, my classes were online, building an online community with other women that were getting ready to deliver. So
Mm-hmm.
it was different. And keep in mind, we were still working.
Mm-hmm.
Still, I was still leading meetings and still leading my team, still all online. So I have, it was a different experience.
I can
And
imagine. Oh my gosh. That's insane. That is absolutely insane. And I'm really glad that you had a doula to help you through that
absolutely.
process. And oh my gosh, because I know when I was pregnant with my twins, my doctor said, "Don't come back after 6 months." So I can just imagine just going from the hospital or going to and from your weekly
Appointments.
appointments and exams, and even having to. Now, were you able to go with your husband, or were you just having to go by
No.
yourself, or was the doula coming to
Yes.
you, or?
That's good. So it was a hybrid to all of that. The
Mm,
initial, when you go and if you hear the heartbeat for the first time, my
yeah.
husband wasn't there. He wasn't able
Oh.
to experience that. And I wanted to record it, and they told me because of HIPAA rules and violations and all that privacy, I couldn't record it visually, so I recorded an audio. And I remember that in that first appointment, walking away, and I cried, and my husband was like, "What's wrong? Aren't you excited?" And I was just, you watch television, you see the movies, and you want to share it with your husband, your partner, your love, and it just
Right.
wasn't there. And and I remember going for the first sonogram. The nurse was the tech just went through it all through the motions, and I was just like, "Listen, I know that you do this for a living. This is my first time. Don't rush me."
Right,
I mean, like,
right,
because you got all these emotions, your pandemic. I got a mask on. She's
right.
got a mask on. You're taking their temperature. I mean, it was just so intense. You're by yourself. You don't want to get exposed. I didn't know. We didn't know if the rhinovirus, COVID-19, would penetrate through the placenta. It was just a lot. And so I found my voice throughout the
Mm.
process and was able to articulate what I needed and force them to stop. And the woman was great. She was like, "You're absolutely right. I'm sorry. Here's the heart. You hear that fluttering. That's the heartbeat. This is the little spine." I mean, it was, and you had that little bit of tiny little picture that that new mothers and expecting women take with them. I framed it. I had it in the living room. I had it in the bedroom. I had it at pictures of her in the bathroom before she even got here. We were prepared for her.
I
Yeah.
know she was loved. I
Yes.
know based on what you went through, I know she was totally loved and is still loved.
Yeah. And perhaps on another podcast we can talk about, because she was conceived through IVF. So when you talk about
Yes.
being intentional, I incorporated a very healthy and strict diet and exercise and
Mm,
acupuncture to really help bring about this. Because, like you said, I was in my early 40s. I'm in my mid 40s now, early 40s,
mm,
trying to conceive, and it wasn't easy for us. And
mm,
so now I have experiencing irregular cycles,
mm.
and have not made the time to to go see my gynecologist. So this conversation is very timely. I'm sure there are many women that are listening that, like me, put off. I'm like, I'm going to do it after the campaign. I'm going to do it after the election. I'm going to do it after. But really, this conversation pauses me and it forces me to reconcile with how my body is changing. Now, I'm not in the night sweats. And, honestly, we don't talk a lot about it. I see women glowing. I see them with their personal summers and their little fans. I'm gonna tell you the truth. I'm like, gosh, is it really, do you have to be so dramatic? I watched my mother go through it. I'm like, golly, come on, give me a break. But it's got to be something there. You got to educate me and to prepare me. But then I go the term prepare my daughter and
That's
the women that I
right.
come across with. So what advice would you give me in this perimenopausal state? What should I be eating? What kind of exercises should I be incorporating?
Well, definitely you're doing the right thing. Whatever you were doing prior to your perimenopausal experience, continue doing that. Your diet is so very important. Drinking water is extremely important because if you are dehydrated, that sets you up to have more hot flashes and night sweats. So you definitely don't want to have to have that experience. Exercising is extremely important. It makes your experience so much more easy, in terms of your sleeping at night. Because there are lots of women who experience insomnia, and so that exercising is extremely important. Even when the importance of taking your vitamins and eating a proper nutrition is absolutely paramount, because you, just like you were taking the prenatal vitamins
Yes.
for Madison before she was born,
Hmm.
you absolutely need to maintain those those vitamins and minerals as you go through this process, because of course as you move forward, your estrogen levels are decreasing, and so you want to keep that level of nutrition up. Now,
Yeah.
during COVID-19 and physical exercise declined across the board,
Hmm.
a lot of people still haven't gone back to the gym. Have you returned to the gym and
I
to
haven't returned to the gym, but my personal home gym has my equipment has increased, and
okay.
during my ninth, I walked all through
Great.
my pregnancy, and I had the moderate range. I gained, I think, 30 pounds and of weight, and I am
Mm-hmm.
back to I'm actually weighed less now than I did before I was pregnant. And so that really attributes, I think, to the water, quite honestly. And I'm just working out on my own. I know the principles. I know what I want to do. I am excited to get back into the gym and get back under the training of a specialist, really, and the motivator. But I'm not going to be able to do that until after the election. And so I'm just very realistic. So that is I'm literally doing core exercises, so planking, getting my heart rate up, so I'm riding the bike. I've got resistance bands. I'm focusing also on my core. So those are just really some of the things that I'm doing, total body, and I'm able to commit anywhere between 30 to 45 minutes in the morning. So it's not a huge commitment. I'm not traveling everywhere. And I do incorporate stretching and yoga with Madison. And so that is something that's fun. And she sees Warren. He also works out at home on
Mm-hmm.
the bike, and so she sees him. We put her. She likes to sit on the bike. Her little legs are too short for the pedal, but just to orient her to the equipment. And we talk about the importance of water and good physical fitness. So we are modeling this, and I think that that's also really important to note on this podcast and in this space, because now we are teachers, right?
Yes.
When we are
Yes.
professional, when we're leading a team, I've got staff. They know I don't allow soda in the office, and even in my presence, don't bring a can of soda around me. When they come to the house, my guests and my family know that there will be a salad, there will be some kind of bubbly water, and that's about it. Don't come looking for a cocktail. We may have a bottle of wine, but that is just, leading and incorporating these principles. Now, there was a period, as you know, I attempted to go vegan. That was a little bit much for me. Um, but we do. I'm constantly looking to bring in more fruits and vegetables into the diet, and being conscious about what we are modeling, so that the baby gets healthy eating habits. Her snacks. She loves bread, Betty. I'm gonna need you to help me on this one. She loves a good carb. Loves pasta and bread,
Don't
and
we all? Don't we all?
yeah, she gets it honest too. But but you should see her downward dog lady. This girl, the flexibility, the hip flexors. I mean, these are brand new knees. She's got it all, and so I want to help her
Well,
hold on to it.
a future gymnast.
Yes, that's the next thing we're going to enroll her in.
There
Yes,
you go.
that's right. Yeah.
Well, now, to what extent have you noticed the trend of people staying away from the gym and doing the home gym thing? Do you think that there are what kind of implications do you think are for millennial women when they, as they move forward and with their gym and with their physical activity? What do you think?
I think the mindset is two things. We live in the state of California, and the cost of living is very expensive. I
Yeah.
actually watched my gym membership increase during the pandemic,
Oh
and
no!
yeah,
During
people
the
were not going.
pandemic?
Yeah, yeah. The company send out messages saying, all these safety precautions. They've made some changes, and I am more conscious about washing my hands
Hmm.
and touching the equipment. Remember working out with mask, without mask, back and forth. There were a lot of rules around that. I personally, when I do go to the gym, I do work out with a mask on. And so even buying the right kind of a mask that allows me coverage, but some more breathing space. Um, I think that millennials are balancing. Um, Now they're starting to have children, and so childcare is expensive. I wish there was a facility that had a free childcare that you can go work out and you can drop off your little one and know that they're covered. So that was also a challenge for me, particularly in the beginning when she first got here. I was eager to get back into the gym about around. I think they tell you they wait 9 weeks before you can heal. Does that sound about right?
Right. Yeah.
And I was so eager. I got back in, and I did too much too early, and
Oh.
I injured myself. So then I started to just focus on just I wanted to strengthen that core. When
Hmm.
the body changes, and I realized that my body will never be what it was before pregnancy, and I
Get
am
used
to a
to
point where
it.
I've accepted it.
Yeah.
I've accepted
Good.
it,
Very
and
good.
love it, and I'm working with what I have. But still, like I said, in my mind, that core is not only what physically sustains the body and the skeletal structure, but also it's the core that helps me breathe in those intense situations when critics are
Yes.
criticizing, focusing on the breath and really going inward to stay centered. And that's not to say that I don't get angry and I don't get off my center, but that the techniques that you learn in yoga, the techniques that you learn even in acupuncture and working out, when you're breathing through an exercise, when you're lifting weights and you're contracting your muscles, those are the same things that you are mindful of when someone is criticizing you, or I'm in a debate and a forum and I start to feel myself get lightheaded. Stop,
Mm.
breathe, right?
Yeah,
Take a
absolutely.
moment and just think about what you're saying. And where I go mentally is, why am I running for office? Who do I want to serve? And that
Yeah.
alignment does guide not only my physical practice, but also my professional life. Why I'm
Yeah.
running for state controller, why I get up and I push for legislation to restrict the sales of tobacco.
And let's talk about your run for office for a minute. As the state's chief fiscal officer, the California State Controller also serves as a member of the California Health Facilities Financing
Yes.
Authority. And so
Yes, look at
that,
you doing your homework. Yes,
girl,
Betty.
you know,
Yes.
you know, I know.
Mhm.
And so that authority helps nonprofit and public health facilities. So it helps them to increase health access and cost containment with various tax exempt programs. Now,
Yes.
if you become controller, what tax exempt programs do you envision will specifically support affordable health access for women in general and menopausal women specifically?
Yes, you know what? So for me, it's less about the specificity of the program, right? Because
Okay.
the legislature and the governor, those programs already exist. My job is to make sure that we are spending the money accurately and that there's equity, so to make sure that women that are living in the inner city have the same access as those that are living in the suburb or in a rural community. So it's about making sure that there is equity in how those tax dollars are dispersed. And then if they are not, standing up and saying, hey, we need to put more money over here
All
to this
right.
group. Yeah.
Okay, got it. Got it. Now, I've also heard the need for a wellness marketplace that would cross many sectors of healthcare and presumably and presumably will be regulated by the state controller. Does such a
Mhm.
marketplace already exist in California? And if so, does it include resources for for the menopause sector?
So that's a good question. I don't know if it's specific to include the menopause sector, and
Mm-hmm.
that and although I would submit that probably not, because menopause is not widely discussed, and
Okay.
most of our electeds are men, and I we know they're not discussing it,
Right. Now,
although
if
they
it
love to
was
talk.
about Viagra,
They'll talk about Viagra, and they want to restrict a woman's reproductive
they
access to
right.
information and services, but they don't. You know, it's that negative energy. They want to restrict instead of enhance and help you become better informed. That's
Mm-hmm.
why organizations like the Legislative Women's Caucus and women's organizations and health community organizations are important, so that we are advocating. Also, equally important, that we elect women into these positions, so as we are discussing policy, our interests are at the forefront and at the table and getting funded. So that wellness marketplace that you were describing is underway and currently being built, and it should include perimenopausal, menopausal information, and providers such as yourself. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to double check on that one.
Yes, yes, and Cheryl French says yes. Elect more women.
Thank you, Cheryl.
Yes. Now, the odds of perimenopausal women encountering health conditions like osteoporosis and heart
Mm.
disease tend to increase depending upon their eating habits. As someone with such a busy and high profile life, now you did touch upon this a little earlier. How challenged have you been in managing your own nutritional needs so you can stay fit and healthy?
Yeah, it's challenging because when I have more time, I'm able to do the meal prep, right? I can be very
Mm-hmm.
thoughtful and intentional about what I'm preparing for the family to eat. What I have done as a result of the pandemic, and then also coming out being a new mom, is I have subscribed to some food, when they food programs where they drop off um, recipes and
Okay.
food already
Mm-hmm.
packaged, ready to go. So the meal plan that I have on my family is the lean. Clean and lean, so that we're
Okay.
eating lean protein, fresh vegetables. Now, I still need to find 15 minutes in the day to put all these meals together, but they're good. They're wholesome and they're healthy. And this is just something that I've been able to incorporate in my family. And we have delivered 2 meals a week. So that means that we're not eating out. We're paying
Good.
attention to the budget, but
Mm-hmm.
also the healthy food. When Madison was a tiny little baby, I originally had this idea that I was going to be making baby food. The reality struck me that I didn't have time to make baby food. So I did the next best thing. I bought somebody else's homemade baby food.
There you
Um,
go.
and so this is the thing. not everybody is on the same level income wise. So there are ways that you can substitute. We
Mhm.
are fortunate in a position where I'm able to augment and bring on some help and to bring on this type of food. But for me, the nutrition is absolutely important. So a large share of our family budget goes into organic produce. Shopping at the produce, I mean, at the farmers market. That's fun. That's something that we go to as a
Yes.
family, and
Yes.
the food is fresh, and we're supporting local farmers, and then also,
Yes.
teaching, walking through, talking about the colors, talking about the vegetables, and then the baby being able to pick out something. We go into the kitchen, we chop it up, we saute it, and or we're eating it fresh, and so just kind of making that connection
Yes,
for her.
yes,
Yeah.
absolutely, absolutely. I love this. I love
Hmm.
this. I am, because I'm at the fruit and vegetable stand. I'm at the farmer's market also. Whenever I can get to the farmer's market, you know.
I know you love it. You got me
Yes,
going. You
there
got
you
me
go.
going. Doing an internet search, like, okay, today's Wednesday, who's selling what and where.
Right.
I live in San Francisco, and when you and what's important to note is that I also live in a food desert, so I don't have the
Yes.
options that are easy for me to get to. I really do need to get in the car and drive and park and then walk in to get access to this food, and it takes time, and I'm not
Yes.
there every week, and it's here I'm in, where am I? I'm in Costa Mesa right now, traveling. I'm going to catch a plane in a couple hours. So, um, I do rely on my family and the community to help me
Yeah.
provide the care, and and then also execute on my strict rules. No soda, no sugary drinks, no, like really undergirding water as our primary
Yes.
drinking source. No.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, here at Crazy Sexy Menopause, we teach and recognize the power of mindset.
Oh, yes.
Which is that personal connection of attitude and beliefs that people use to navigate their lives. And yet, many women I meet seem to have this fixed mindset that precludes them from happiness, particularly as they move into menopause. What do you think is at the root of this loss of optimism that often besets women as they approach their middle years?
Well, particularly those that we're talking about, millennials, I think social media has
Mm-hmm.
something to do with it, because you have over filtered women posting images of themselves. You have fillers. You've got nips and tucks. You've got Brazilian butt lifts. So you got a false sense of a false standard of beauty. So when you're constantly bombarded with that, I think you get to internalize that and say, God, I got these smile lines over here, and I've got these wrinkles over here. What can I do to improve upon my presentation, about my looks? And
Mm-hmm.
so, something I said earlier, and this is a work in progress, just embracing the stretch marks, just and realizing that it's okay, that it's a badge of honor. You carried and delivered life, and that these are your stripes that you've earned,
That's
that have
right.
brought you into motherhood. And also, what, diet and exercise will also help strengthen
Mm-hmm.
and tone. Water is incredible life source. You talked about supplements. I take collagen. I take a daily vitamin. I'd love to get some advice from you on other things that I should be supplementing in my diet now that I am in this perimenopausal stage.
Mm-hmm.
I restrict how much time I spend on social media, so I'm not consuming
Yes.
this. I'm not looking at these, thin, fit 20-year-olds in the commercials about strong hair. You know what I mean? Like, listen, my hair is thinning too.
Yeah.
Right? And that is a part of it. So I have resigned and embraced the growing old gracefully. That doesn't mean that I don't stop it. That doesn't mean that I'm not wearing my sunblock, and doesn't mean I'm doing sun protection and everything like that. I am doing that, but I'm also I tell my younger sisters, I said, you'll be fortunate to look this good when you're almost 45.
That's right. That's right. Because you do. You are the oldest of four. You are.
Yeah, five.
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 That's right.
Yeah.
Five. And, I am so grateful that you said what you said about embracing your body because there's so many women who, there's so much access to cosmetic surgery and
Yeah.
hair dye and everyone does their own thing and what makes them feel good, but embracing not only your body but your gray as well. And I
Yes.
I had to come to that notion because I was like, okay, you know what? I've earned these grays. I've earned every last one of them, and I'm proud of them. And so yeah, I'm showing them. So I'm so glad that you are embracing yours as well. And when people see you because you're in the public eye, they'll be like, you're the example, and people will look at you and say, well, if she can do it, I can do it too.
Yeah.
And so that's amazing, and one of the reasons why I'm doing what I'm doing now
I
because
know.
yeah,
And you deserve applause and all the finger snaps and good energy because you are
oh,
doing something for women. You are talking about a topic that we again it's like taboo. I don't know. Tell me, why don't we talk about this?
mothers, because mothers didn't hear it from their mothers, and
Mm,
back in the day I think that it was just not talked about it, and initially actually women didn't live long enough to have menopause.
that
So
part. Mhm.
exactly, and so now that we're living longer, that we're experiencing this, but also women need to understand that menopause is not the end of your life. It's just the end of your time period where you are.
It's the end of your youth. That's
It's
what I've been trying to grapple
no,
with.
it's not the end of your youth because I
It's
feel
not.
no, heck no. I feel better now than I've ever felt. It's the end of your childbearing years. That's what it's the end of. I please look at me. Look at
I do. I love. Well, I won't tell them a story about how we were in the gym and you said I don't want to take off my jacket. She didn't want to show off her arms, but ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you, ladies, in that blouse is a strong set of arms with definition. I mean, goals. Betty's goals right here.
Oh man, but you know what? And so I'm it's my mission to not look as old as I am.
Mm,
Or to change the way that people see 68-year-old women. I mean, why do we have to, and also this is the media too. Why
yes.
is it that women that are my age are depicted as people who need a walker? And that's
Hmm.
that's just not who we are now. And that we are. I
Whereas
love the.
men, as they age, become sexy, right?
That's right.
Seasoned.
That's right. That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
So
And
this is our call. We're going to tear down the patriarchy,
we,
right? We're going to do
we
it
are.
by
We
being
are.
shining examples
That's
of
right.
women that are
Wherever we
taking back,
are.
taking their
Wherever we
power.
are, we have to take back our power. We have to not only take it back, but just let it be seen. Let it be
Yes.
seen. And so,
Yes.
as long as I've known you, you have been so optimistic and upbeat, and you've always had that beautiful smile even when you're coming into the gym ready to work out. It's like, let's
Yeah.
do it, let's do it, let's go, let's go, let's go. What do you attribute to your amazing anything is possible mindset?
Gratitude. I'm grateful to that my heart kept beating throughout the night. I'm grateful to be alive.
Mm.
I am just happy that the way that people have come into my life, such as yourself. I mean, they don't know how we met, but it was very random. I just walked into the gym and Betty was there, and it was like 6 o'clock in the morning and she met my energy, and I mean, we're just happy and just very grateful. So I think that really stems, that is the motivation source when I wake up. um, Madison won't sleep all night, and I'm just happy to hear a baby crying because how many days I prayed to be a mother.
Yes,
I'm happy
yes.
to change a poopy diaper. She's moving. Her system is moving. We're feeding her good food, and it's moving. I mean, I just look at it through a lens of just happiness and gratitude. Yes, my husband steals the covers at night, but yes, he's there by my side, and we are working together. Tackling life as a team, and so just being mindful about. Um, and just putting the right mindset on all of these situations. In this campaign, these attacks, they attack because we're winning. you know so
Yes.
to the ladies that are listening on this, I want them to follow you. I want them to subscribe to you. I will be doing so because you are an incredible resource and a gift, and we are so lucky to have you in our lives, and that you are approachable, and that we can just access you in multiple different ways and platforms. So I uplift you and I support you, and I want you to know that I love you and I love the direction that you're going in. That the pandemic didn't snuff your light; it actually
Oh,
bolstered you,
thank
and you are
you.
going to be really a positive impact on many women's lives, and
Thank
we're
you
grateful.
so much. Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
I didn't expect that. Oh my gosh, y'all, I didn't pay her to say that.
No, no, and to the man behind the camera, the set, the technical, your technical team, Angelo. I mean,
Yes.
it's a wonderful relationship, and that is exactly what life is about, right? Having balance. You can't do it all. You can't be the superstar in front of the camera. You need a superstar behind the camera. Your
That's
editor,
right. That's right.
your
That's right.
producer. So it's a team effort.
It is. It most certainly is, and I am so very blessed to have my team behind me, my team of one. But all of
Oftentimes
those
that's the case.
that yes, yes, yes. But there are other people out there who support me as well, and I'm extremely grateful. Especially all of those who chimed in and who are watching now. I'm just so grateful for you all. Malia, now because you're human, I have to ask this question. Was there ever a time when you faced an important opportunity or challenge with a fixed or limited mindset? And if so, what advice would you offer to other millennial women or women in general who might sometimes struggle with this?
Yeah, so the positive attitude and the healthy mental attitude, it's not a fixed state. It is an ebb and a flow. And yes, I just recently, I think I was in a slump for the last 2 weeks, uh, grinding it out on this campaign, not
Mm-hmm.
internalizing the criticisms on Twitter and the lies that are out there, not winning in, earning endorsements. I mean, all of that does, because I'm asking people saying, hey, these are my ideas. And they're like, nope, we don't like those ideas, or those ideas are stupid, or irrelevant. And so that does begin to take its toll. And I lost my voice. And so what
Mm.
I actually do is I'm very intentional about who I'm surrounding myself with, and who uh, I pray. And I had good friends just send me some scripture just to remind me that the devil is going to attack, when you're winning and when you're close and you're manifesting into your greatness. And also, having a mental coach that reminded me that when part of winning, when you win, that and step onto a new stage, and you're coming from someplace into someplace new, that there are growing pains, just like our bodies. Remember when we were developing breasts? Remember when our body was just getting used to having a cycle? They were just natural growing pains. Just and this is something I learned when I was laboring. Yielding into those surges, those contractions. Don't resist, don't tense up, but just going into them, breathing into them, and just
Yes.
feeling it. And that is something that I had to train, and practice. It's a practice. That's a better way to put it.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yes. Yes.
you need people, coaches, to coach you, to remind you. You and I have had conversations throughout the course, even leading up to this podcast. You got to be reminded. And so I've got post-it notes on my mirror, one that says attitude, one that says lead with no favor and no fear. There, I've got another post-it that says is listen and respond. So these are just daily reminders that as I'm brushing my teeth and as I'm setting my intentions for the day, that I don't forget.
Yes. Beautiful, beautiful. Doing that mirror work.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And that's the
Yeah.
reason why we have two ears and one mouth, because we're
Yes.
supposed to listen more than we speak.
Hmm.
Now,
Yeah.
is there anything else that you want to say to menopausal women in general regarding this focus of living vibrantly?
Yes, I want to ask that we um, marry the fact that voting season is upon us. People are going to receive their ballots on October 10th, and you'll have 30 days. So in 9 days, you'll get that ballot, and then 39 days more on until the deadline to cast that ballot. And so I really want people to be mindful about who they're voting for, because it is an extension of our collective community and our collective agenda. Me, I support reproductive rights and putting women first. I support women candidates that also share these commonalities. And so I want people to realize that you may not share my political views, but that you do have a responsibility to yourself. You live in a food desert, you need to elect someone that will bring about grocery stores. You worried about getting healthy water. Think about Mississippi. You think about Detroit. I mean, these are
Detroit.
real life examples of communities, black communities in particular, that have suffered because they have historically elected people that have not had their best interests, because they thought that their vote didn't matter. Our votes matter. Everything that we do matters. We need to be intentional on where we are putting our energy. Where intention flows, energy goes.
Hmm.
And I do believe that whether I'm struggling to hold out a plank, whether I'm pushing myself to do one more jumping jack, or if I'm actually walking and talking and connecting with voters, either way, it's really about being intentional and spending good energy. And don't spend time in a negative place. If people aren't embracing you and they're not fully loving on you, then it's okay to walk away. You do have
Okay.
that permission. So that is those are
Love
the words that
that.
I would leave. That and I don't want to be, presenting myself as my life is perfect and easy. It is not. It is a work in process. It's a work in progress. My marriage, my relationship, it grows with my sisters, with my friends, with my parents. So it is not a perfect situation, but I do try to be um, mindful about every space that I operate in. I
That
love you
is.
for doing this, Betty.
Oh,
I
thank
love it.
you. Thank you. And I love you for showing up and being my support system. I thank you for being in my tribe. Oh, I love you so much. And
Yeah.
thank you again for joining me today. I so appreciate the generosity of your time and you helping me to celebrate National Menopause Month. Oh
Yes.
my gosh, you don't know how much this means to me. And so, if anyone would like to donate to your campaign in any way, how can they do so?
Thank you. Thank you for asking. It's really simple. Just you can find me on multiple social media platforms, but we got a website. It's maliacohen.us. So if they go to MALIACOHEN uh, .us, as in us, Malia
Hmm.
us. You'll go to the website. That there'll be a link there. Just contribute whatever you can, because we're in that final push, and we need the community to come together to keep us at the top. Thank you.
Great, great, great. And I just want to share some. I just want to share some comments that just came in. Cheryl said, "Praying for you during this election season, Malia." Sarah said, "She said that's why I live. Okay, so you're saying I love Dr. William Barber so much. People in
Oh
food deserts
yes,
need to vote."
yes,
Close to 48% of Americans live at or below poverty level. So
yes,
yes, it's important to vote no matter no matter who you are voting for, you want to make sure that it's someone that has your best interests at heart. Because,
Yes.
this is the reason why we're in the position that we're in now. There are people that we have voted into office that just don't have our best interests at heart.
Hmm.
Cheryl says, I'm a Georgia voter, voting, of course, for Reverend Warnock. All right.
Yes.
All
And I hope you
right.
also Stacey Abrams too.
Stacey
Yes.
Abrams,
Yes.
yes, yes, yes. So, oh my gosh, this has been amazing. This has really been amazing. And listen, thank you again for all that you have been to me, all of your support. And Cheryl says, of course, for for Stacey Abrams,
Yeah.
and for all of you in California. Hey, Malia is the one. She is working for us, and so I just want to say thank you again. I am extremely grateful for you, and I want to also extend safe travels to
Thank
you
you.
as you move through the state of California and get
Mhm.
home to your husband and your baby safely. And Gina says she's praying for you in your campaign. So
Thank
you
you.
got
Thank you.
lots of support here, and I am so grateful for you. Thank you, Malia.
Thank you, sisters. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. And listen, thank you all for hanging with me. I am so grateful for you. I'm sending you all a virtual hug. Oh my gosh. And if you like this video, if you like this live stream, and you want to see more content like this, please click subscribe and hit the notifications bell. I'll see you soon. And always remember, it's your life. Live it well.